Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. In today's video, OP is generous enough to take their grandparents and extended family on a vacation to Bora Bora. Because of booking constraints, they were the only ones who were able to get the biggest villa. However, when the grandparents found out, they demanded that they stay in the villa. Luckily, OP was able to handle this really well. I do hope that you enjoyed this story. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Anyways, onto the story. Will I be the a-hole if I didn't give up my honeymoon villa to my grandparents? My family is Asian. My husband's side is white. My husband and I got married and are treating his side of the family and my side to 1 week all expense paid vacation to Bora Bora as a pre-family honeymoon before going off on our real one. We were able to rent out half a side of the bungalows and only one villa was in that section. My husband and I took the villa. The bungalows are over 1,000 feet, 1 bedroom, with an option of 1 king bed or 2 queens, 1 bathroom, and an outdoor space type of deal. We made sure everyone was accommodated for and everyone had a comfortable living situation. Our villa is a 4,000 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, which includes a sauna, a living room, a grand outdoor space with an outdoor bathtub, pool, and slide to get into the ocean. We have not even made it a whole 24-hour yet and a fight has already broken out. During dinner, my cousin mentioned wanting to come over and use our side. My grandparents asked what we were talking about and asked to see pictures of our room. Well, they saw my villa and demanded that we trade rooms with them as no elder should be made to quote-unquote slave and live as peasants while their grandchildren get a nicer room. This is Bora Bora we're talking about. No one is living as a peasant here. There was only 1 villa available in our section. Had I given it to my grandparents, I think it would have been offensive to my husband's grandparents. If there were 3, we would have given it to both grandparents and 1 for ourselves. But unfortunately there wasn't. I mentioned this and they still demanded the villa. I obviously objected and said that I felt as though my husband and I should have that room as this is a vacation with family to celebrate our marriage. Plus, we paid for this entire trip. Wouldn't one just sit back and be grateful that they're getting a free vacation instead of complaining? My grandparents freaked out, saying that I'm holding money above their heads and that I'm being disrespectful and not following their orders. They stormed off after threatening to take the first flight out tomorrow morning and leaving. I honestly don't know what to do. My side of the family is telling me to just give them the room to be respectful and bring peace to the family, while my husband's side thinks that my grandparents are crazy, and I agree. They are so ridiculous. All I wanted was for both sides of the family to get together and get to know each other, and now it's falling apart. I don't think I'm an a-hole at all. But I've been up all night thinking whether I should just squash it and invite my grandparents to stay in my villa in order for them not to leave. But another part of me just wants to tell them to go F themselves for making my honeymoon about themselves, just like they do with everything else. So Reddit, what do I do? Will I be the a-hole if I denied giving up my villa? The overall judgment was not the a-hole. One Reddit user said, "It looks like your grandparents think that you're disrespectful because you won't let them disrespect you." To which OP replied, "Okay, wow, that's the first time someone's put it that way." Someone asked for more information. Does your wealth come from an inheritance or a trust in your side of the family? This is an incredibly generous and expensive vacation. I assume you're spending over $100,000 on it. The only way I'm making sense of any of their resentment is if they are not only very wealthy themselves, but are in fact the source of your own wealth and therefore feel slighted. OP replied, "No inheritance or trust. My family comes from a long line of business owners. My grandparents have always been wealthy, but our wealth really skyrocketed when my dad's business took off. Because of that, my parents were able to put my siblings and I in prestigious programs, private schooling, etc. I ended up taking after my dad and starting my own business. The only money that I've spent belonged to my parents." Someone else said, "They put it in such a great succinct way. I'm from an Asian family too, and I think about the below quote a lot. It's basically what another Reddit user wrote, but a little more elaborated. My parents would constantly accuse me of being disrespectful over ridiculous things. The quote below made me realize why. Sometimes people just use respect to mean treating someone like a person, and sometimes they use respect to mean treating someone like an authority. And sometimes people who are used to being treated like an authority say that if you won't respect me, I won't respect you. And they mean, if you won't treat me like an authority, I won't treat you like a person. And they think that they're being fair, but they aren't, and that's not okay. To which OP replied, "This is so right. Thank you for sharing this. Definitely will come in handy in case I decide to talk some sense into my grandparents." Some Redditors also commented keeping some of their own personal experiences in mind. One said, "Hun, as a fellow Asian, hold your ground. If you give in to this, you're opening yourself up to this nonsense from both your grandparents and your parents for the rest of your life. The next thing is going to be, why are you going on a vacation and not taking us along as your treat as well? Or, your house is nicer, so we're shifting here and living with you. For the sake of your own sanity for the rest of your life, hold your ground, not the a-hole." Someone else said, "Fellow Asian here, I do have your back. Do not give up that villa. This was a gift to yourself and your husband. It belongs to you as the hosts of this vacation. That being said, you will not be able to talk sense into them until you apologize for bringing up that you paid for them to get there. At their age, in their eyes, even if they are being unreasonable, either the trip out was a gift or something to hold over them, so apologize. Then inform them that you don't want them to leave, but you understand if they will. And also that you're very hurt that they would embarrass you and your family in front of your husband's family by demanding a room of more importance than the ones his own grandparents have. It's important to illustrate to them that by claiming the villa, you have prevented the inequality of respect. Then finish up with how much you love them and leave. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. If they want to pull respect and filial piety, remind them that it goes both ways, and they need to be gracious in the face of your new in-laws, and demanding the nicest room on the island is not a good look. Even though I really wanted to be petty and tell them to F off, I decided that it'd be better to kill them with kindness, so they have little to work with if they decide to spin it around that I was disrespectful. During breakfast, my grandparents refused to show up if I was there. Everyone tried calling them. "Nope, we're not coming because disrespectful granddaughter is there." After a lot of persuading and even having to send our baby cousin to their room to soften them up, they finally decided to come. I made the first conversation by asking if they looked at any flights to leave yet. They could forward the pay stub to my cell. They said that they hadn't looked yet and that should be my job if I was kicking them out. I made sure that they knew that I was not kicking them out, but understood if they wanted to leave, and offered to send some staff to their room to pack up their belongings so that they could have a little more time to explore or get their complimentary in-room massage that comes with all the bungalows. They kinda stopped eating and looked at each other in shock. Every time that they've threatened not to go anywhere in the past, my family's always babied them and begged them not to leave and offer money or extravagant gifts for them to stay. Well, I'm not doing that. I'll pay for their flight back home, but I've already done enough accommodating on my honeymoon vacation. So there you have it. My grandparents weren't even planning to go home. They tried scaring me into begging them to stay. I called their bluff. After breakfast, I found a flight leaving around 5 p.m. and walked to the main desk to ask them to cancel the reservation for that room for the rest of the trip and to send staff to help them pack. They also didn't get their complimentary massage because the resort only offers that on a 4-night stay or longer. The staff came to help pack and they left half an hour ago. I'm currently in my villa de-stressing before dinner, and some uncles came in who were married into the family and confided in me that they were sick and tired of the entitlement my grandparents have had since day one, and they were glad someone born into the family decided to speak up. My cousins came over and honestly couldn't care less my grandparents were gone. In their words, they quote-unquote killed the vibe. So everyone's happy right now and is using my slide before cleaning up for dinner. I'm happy I was able to stand up to my grandparents without being blatantly disrespectful. I have an overflow of messages and comments that I can't get back to. However, the main question everyone asking is what my profession is. I didn't go the usual Asian route. I actually dropped out of my last year of college and started a fashion line that took a couple of years to take off, but surprisingly skyrocketed a few years ago. My dad's also an entrepreneur. I looked up to him and I'm so glad that I had him as an inspiration who paved the way. Don't give up on your dreams, guys. So guys, what did you think about this? Honestly, the level of entitlement these grandparents show is insane. I understand that culture can play a part, especially in collectivistic cultures that are predominant in the Asian region. However, what about something called pride? My gut just says that this is not the overwhelming reaction that the majority of Asian grandparents would have. OP's grandparents are a whole other breed. What do you think? Honestly, what would you have done? I don't think I would have been as kind as OP was. I honestly would have told them to F off, and I definitely would not have paid for their plane back. But I would have cancelled their reservation. But let's be honest, there is no way in hell that I have the money to pay for an extended family's vacation to Bora Bora. And even if I did, I don't know if I would. Anyways, guys, I would love to hear what you thought about this. If you liked the story, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.